The Recreation Commission honors outstanding employees, and we get the latest from the Barnstable Police Department during our interview with Chief of Police Paul McDonald. On this episode of Barnstable Today, it's Tuesday, July 12th, 2016. I'm Sarah Mantle. The 2015 Barnstable Recreation Employees of the Year were honored during this week's Recreation Commission meeting. This year's honorees include lifeguard Callie Conroy, gate attendant Madison Alper, beach assistant Reed Mason, leisure program counselor Mitchell Langfield, and program assistant James Walsh. Director of Leisure Services Patty Machado presented the recipients with special plaques.
As everyone's coming down, I've given each one of the recipients an award. We've given them a plaque to hang on the wall, which will be wonderful, especially for most of them going to college. And in the future, when they're looking for a job, this is something that looks very good on a resume, being awarded this. And I'm happy to write letters of recommendation to go along with each one. The other thing is Highline sponsors this. And, you know, they've been extremely generous, and each one of them received they have a new fast ferry, and all of you guys are going to be getting the opportunity to go out on it. And that's very generous of them to do for us. So thank you out there to the Scudder family and all they do for the town and helping make this happen. So.
And Cape Cod Disc Golf received the Recreation Commission's Community Service Award in recognition of its top-notch maintenance of Burgess Park. And Burgess Park, by the way, is frequently listed among the top 10 disc golf courses in Massachusetts. Now let's get the latest from the Barnstable Police Department. Channel 18's Sarah Colvin talks with Chief of Police Paul McDonald.
Chief, a couple of things to talk about. First, we heard reports of a robbery of a street musician, kind of an unusual happening along Main Street. Tell me what happened here.
As everyone knows, during the summer months, we have different street musicians play in different areas along Main Street. This particular individual was playing his guitar in front of the Rockland Bank down the area of Main Street and Winter Street. He was playing for a small group. One member of the group requested a specific song. He then stepped forward and was playing directly for the family small gathering that was there. While he was there, he left his little basket there that he collects donations from unattended. Two homeless individuals walked up from behind him, picked up the money, and ran through the alleyway between the Rockland Trust and Puritan Clothing out towards North Street. He called the police. This particular night, Saturday night, obviously we have multiple officers on Main Street. A foot chase ensued. Both individuals were apprehended up back on Main Street by 19th hole. One individual was identified as Kyle Mugford, and the other individual as a Joseph Gibson. They're both charged with larceny of property, larceny from person, disorderly person, and resisting obstructing arrest. Both individuals are homeless, and both individuals have an extensive history with us. One was held on $2,500 cash bail, and the other was held on $3,000 cash bail.
Wow. And I'm assuming the money was recovered and returned to its rightful owner?
All the money was recovered, was photographed, and returned to the rightful owner. And we do have videotape across the street. I forget the name of the establishment that was across the street. They had it on their cameras set up on Main Street and happened to pick up the entire robbery, so it worked out well.
Great. Is that I think that's the Duck Inn right across the street from Rockland Trust?
I believe it might have been Duck Inn Pub, yes.
So, Chief, again, is there any recommendations? I mean, I would think that obviously this time of year we do have a lot of musicians playing out in the street,
Yep.
and it is tradition to kind of either have your music case open or have that basket for donations, but certainly a reminder that if you're going to be busking like that, to make sure to keep an eye on your basket, or even have a partner that can help keep an eye when you're kind of in the throes of music.
Yeah, you have to be aware of your surroundings, what's going on. And, we've had these street musicians on the street for the last several years, and this is the first instance that I can remember where any money was taken from any of them. This is an unusual occurrence. And again, the gentleman just stepped forward, left it unattended for just a brief moment, and these two individuals walked by and scooped it up, as a soft target, easy target, grabbed the money and took off running. But again, it's very unusual, but, this is how these people make their money, and they have to be aware of their surroundings and, and keep the money with them.
Absolutely. So, Chief, let's talk about compliance checks as something that is done frequently throughout the summer
Right.
and began last week, as you say. So tell me a little bit about, first, why these compliance checks are done.
Yeah, we do these every year, at least once a year, and every year, usually in the month of April, we meet with all licensed establishments within the town of Barnstable. We meet with either the owner or the manager of record. We come in, we let them know what our expectations are, what we're going to do. We do tell them at some point during the year there are going to be compliance checks. Make sure there is no underage serving of alcohol. This has been a problem in the past. The underage kids getting in, drinking alcohol. They're inexperienced. They do not handle the alcohol well, and we're just trying to prevent any disaster from occurring. Most of the times, the success rate is up at the 90-95%. This past Saturday night, we did start again. We did advertise it. It was in the Patriot. It was up on our website. It's on the Facebook page. WXDK talked about it, so it was no surprise that we're going to be out there. This particular Saturday night, we went out there and we were able to cover 60 different licensed establishments. We start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We start from the Mashpee Barnstable town line and then work our way into downtown Hyannis, and we finish up around 11:30 at night. Out of the 60 establishments, 56 of them passed. There were no problems for them. However, they did fail. When I say fail, they did provide alcohol to the minor. The individual that we use is 20 years of age. He just goes in there, orders one drink, pays with a $20 bill, and if he is served, he just simply does not drink it, just turns and walks out. A police officer out there meets him, and the police officer walks back in, talks to the management, talks to the owner, says, this is what happened. You have to be more attentive. You have to check IDs. We're just requesting everybody to make sure you check IDs and there is no underage drinking going on. All the licensed establishments, we have an excess of 140 in this town, so 60, we're still not done. And what we did Saturday, we concentrated on just the restaurants and the bars, so we haven't even started with the package stores yet.
Indeed. And so, Chief, what are the repercussions for the establishments who do fail?
We're doing a report. Excuse me. We're doing a report on all of the instances. We had informed the regulatory services. Regulatory services then puts them before the licensing board, and it'll be up to the licensing board whatever they decide to do. We like to think of this as an educational process more than a punitive process. Most people that we find, they're in compliance. They work very hard at it. Their team, their bartenders, their wait staff are trained accordingly. Occasionally, though, they get busy, and sometimes they let the guard down. But it's important for them, not to serve a minor, because a minor is served in your establishment and goes out if something happens. There's civil liability there, because if someone gets arrested, they ask where the last person had hit. You had some drink. If you get a motor vehicle crash, all of there are repercussions to this. So, it works out best for everybody to make the extra effort.
Absolutely, and especially this time of year when there are so many people in and around town,
Yep.
new faces,
Yep.
A lot of young people too. So it takes 2 seconds to check the ID and make sure that they are in compliance.
Right, and that is key. And a lot of the places probably. Most of the bars, they do a great job. They have doormen on the premises, and their sole job is check IDs and prevent any problems. But when you get to the restaurants, it's a little bit different. You have a wait staff. You have people clearing the tables. You have bartenders, and they're dealing with a different clientele. It's not a bar room; it's a restaurant, so it's different clientele. And I think we have to show them a little more consideration.
We'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 8 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we'll have our weekly Business Barnstable segment. We'll talk with Director of Growth Management, Joanne Miller-Buntich. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.